And welcome everyone. My name is Amos Joseph, joined by my co-host Brook Potter, and this is the 10K Rum Podcast. How's it going, Brook?
It's going well. I'm happy to say out here in the UK, we are now entering an attempt at spring.
Something like that. Here we're already having summer, pretty much. Summer weather is coming about. We pretty much skipped spring. But in Minnesota, it's not called summer or spring. It's just called construction. So majority of the roads, freeways, and such are all being torn up and worked on, and it's construction everywhere. So
That's
road
crazy.
closings. Yeah, it's basically you got to repair the roads from the winter damage. But what's going on today, Brooke? I know we got a guest on today.
Today's guest is a gentleman that I've had the privilege of working with, I think for about 8 months now. For those of you who know, I've been involved in the trading and portfolio management business for a while. And, my initial school was, of course, the Institute of Trading and Portfolio Management. I've also gone on and trained with another gentleman. His name was Gregoire Dupont. And based on his advice, he said, if you really want to learn technical analysis, you got to learn Forex. And I basically said, I got to find like the best Forex options that I can get. And that put me on to this gentleman who we have today, who is Darko Ali of forexmentor.com. So Darko, over to you. Would you introduce yourself to the people?
Sure, I would love to. And, thank you for having me here. And yeah, my name is Darko and I'm 43 years old, living in Sweden with my dog and my wife. And I have 3 kids from a previous marriage. So I've been living here in Sweden for the past, 30 years. On the weekends, I'm working as a supervising police officer. I've been a police officer for the past 19 years. And on the Monday to Friday, I'm trading the live market, mostly the London session. And I'm obviously coaching. I'm a lead coach for Coach's Corner as well. So yeah.
Fantastic. So, you have an amazing story, as I was explaining to my friend Amos, that, a lot of people have the passion to get into trading. They go to different schools and stuff like that. And your journey, I think we were discussing before, took 18 years to really master this skill.
Yeah, it was actually 8 years. So
8 years, yes.
Sorry. I just started out like everyone else. Like, geez, I didn't know anything about the market, and someone told me about the Forex market and the trading market, stocks and stuff. And I had no education, and I was just like, at the time, I just want something exciting in my life. My life was boring and I just want something else. I just, get rich quick and investing something. And it's just like, I just wanted something else for myself. And you say, you know what? I am on vacation now for 4 weeks. Let's become a trader. And then I just tell my boss to F off, I never want to go back to my job. And just, even though I'm loving my job, it's nothing wrong with it. Just like, it's always an urge to do something else with my life and getting somewhere. And obviously I start trading Swedish stocks. That's the first thing I did. And I obviously picked the bull market at 2008, 2007, 8 there. So I lost my entire savings, and I was like, that's it was devastating for everything. So yes. I just started from scratch again and struggled for another 8 years until I finally got my breakthrough.
Yes. And as a young man, growing up in Sweden, did you know this is what you wanted to do?
Absolutely not.
No. What did you want to do as a young man?
As a young man, I want to be a police officer.
Yes.
And that was my final goal in life. I never wanted anything else. And I was like struggling as hell to become a police officer, because the first like 4 times I applied to the police academy, they turned me down, saying, you know what, it's because usually like 5,000 to 6,000 people is applying for the academy, and they only take like less than 200 each year. So it's just like people ask me like, hey, what's your plan B, dude? Like, you cannot be planning for this. Like, what if you don't become a police officer? You cannot be like daydreaming about this your entire life. What's your plan B? My problem is I never had plan B in my life. It's just like my plan B is to follow plan A. So I didn't have any answer. No, I just want to become a police officer. I don't have any other options. And they thought that's like reckless. You have a future, like wife and kids. At some point you need to start take responsibility. Grow up and take a decent job. Hell no. This is my plan. It's my life, my rules. I do what the heck I want with it. So after many years of struggling, finally I got in when I was 24 years old. And we had some severe, like big psychology tests and physical tests, and there was like 5,000 people applying that specific year, and they took in 196 of those 5,000, and I was one of them.
Amazing. And I mean, that totally transformed your life.
Yeah, sure. I was happy, and I'm still having that diploma on my wall when they send me the letter. Hey, Darko Ali, you are now a police student. You will start your semester like this day and this and that. I was like shaking, yelling. I was like, geez, I just freaked out. My biggest dream in life, come to fruition, and I've been working with that like for the past 18 years. So yeah. Yeah.
Now, after you got into becoming a police officer, where was the shift where you wanted to get into trading?
When I was 30 years old, something really bad happened to me. And I have never spoken about this to anyone, and no one knows about this. So I faced some severe adversity in life, because my goal with the entire police officering was like to become an undercover police officer, and I applied for a unit that is like super hard to get in, and I get into that unit, and I was like, they was like around 200 top students or police officers applying for that service, and they picked like 5 people, and I was one of those 5s. And for some reason, it just like the entire unit was against me. I faced some real like adversity, and I didn't fit in. So actually they ended my working employee. So they sent me back where I was before I applied to that. And that was the biggest hurting. Like, that was the first time in my life where something went against me, because I'm always like a believer, like if you work hard enough, if you're a good person, you should not be like, things should be working out at the end. And when it didn't, I cried my heart off for 4 years. So from that day, I decided to never let my joy and my happiness to be in someone else's hand. I want to do, if I want something in life, it has to be like based on me, not up to someone else to like give me in this case that job, or because I can trust myself, but unfortunately there are not many people out there that you can trust. So that was the turning point in my life when when that happened in my life. I went back. I was like a failure. Everyone was like pointing fingers at me. Hey, like, why did you come back? Did you screw up? And like, I was embarrassed, and I didn't do anything wrong. So from that day on, I said, you know what? I will just find something for myself, and then I will just build up my dream. It should be up to me, not up to anyone else to for my happiness and joy and wealth. So that was the turning point.
And what was your, so you said you started with the Swedish stocks. Did you have any early education when you got into it?
Education? What's like how hard can it be? If price goes up, you buy. If price goes down, you sell. Do I need an education for that?
So I mean, on your journey, of course, I was the same thing. I blew about 3 trading accounts when I started out before I
Only?
realized. Yeah, it was. Well, I was very poor in the third world. I couldn't do more than that. But yeah, I mean, the key for me was that you need to find a mentor, which was, that was a very important thing that I learned very late in life, unfortunately. So walk us through a little bit of your journey. I'm assuming in the beginning you had some success with the markets before the crash of 2008.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything was going up, obviously, and I didn't know why things were up, because I thought that I was God's gift for the financial market, because hey, everything I buy, it's going up. Like, how hard can it be? I just call my friends, and I find the holy grail. I just everything I do, it's going well. 6 months from now, I will be somewhere else in my life, and I was so confident, like, because I never knew that the trend was up or anything. I didn't have any knowledge. So I was like watching the economical news on Swedish TV, like every now and then they have economical news. And I saw like they was like talking about some Swedish stocks, and I just, hey, that one, I want to buy it. And I just bought some, and it was going up. So that was the entire story before the crash. And then when the crash came, then we had to start all over again, when I understood that I don't know anything about the market, anything.
And what was your first delve into the education? So you don't give any names, because we know there are some scams out there.
Sure.
Was it books? Was it seminars? How did you start educating yourself?
Everything. I was like, once I lost everything, so I did some searching, and I come across like, hey, if you lose that much, someone else made those money. And I say, no way. What is this like? I didn't know it was a zero-sum game. Like, if you lose something, someone else took that money. So I said, if someone took all my money that I like saved for the entire life within weeks or days, geez, I want to be that guy. How can I get there? And I thought that, reading books, I have a library of books behind me. I sold most of them. So just like, yeah, I'm reading like every single book, trading book. And I went to seminars, webinars, and I was like, searching for that mentoring. And it's just like, yeah, it was a long road. I know, like, if I knew that it would take me 8 years, geez, just do something else with your life, man. The good thing with life is that you never know how things turns out. So yeah, it was a long road, for sure.
I mean, speaking for people out there, especially with Forex, there are a lot of scams.
Sure.
There are a lot of, make £1,000 a day, retire in 2 months kind of thing. Did you encounter any of those? Like, did you have, you lost some money on that?
Yeah, I've been everywhere. So like you usually like joking about it around it in coaches going, like, wherever you go on internet, like, ask that guy, hey, was Darko a student of yours? They will probably say yes. So so I spend a very much amount of money educating myself. And the problem is, when you are a struggling trader, that if you don't know what's real and what's fake, you don't know that you are paying for a fake service, because these guys are like faking results and faking everything around what they are doing. And I was stupid enough to buy it because I didn't know it was fake. So until you know what's right and wrong, which takes you, like, for me, 8 years, then probably you just pay and pay and pay. Your mentoring, like your trading mentors, are making the big money, what they make you think they are, but they are actually not. And then you are losing, and then you go somewhere else because you don't have any results. And then the next service is doing the same thing, and the next is the same. Just like a never-ending cycle until you finally find something that, hey, this is working. And obviously you do some back testing and such, and take it from there.
What kept you going through all that, though, even though you weren't seeing the results right away?
When I first found trading, I just was super fascinating about how things are. So, sorry guys, I think I lost you. Am I still on?
Yes, we're still on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
The connection dropped for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, there was like something with trading that fascinates me. And I just, once I found it, I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, because this is so interesting. And I'm stimulating my brain properly. And the thing was that I will still do this. I literally could pay money every month just to do what I'm doing today. And the thing is that I just found my passion. You don't know that until you find it. And I knew that I found it, and I couldn't care less if it took me another 8 years or another decade. I will still do it, because I just I'm just obsessed with everything that is around trading. So that was what kept me going year after year. And obviously I was like devastated, countless days and nights when I like cried myself to sleep every single day, letting people down, my kids, my ex-wife, and everyone else around me, friends and families, and without seeing any results. That was like devastating. Like, what if? It's always like behind my mind, like, what if you never make it? Like, how much more will you sacrifice? Like, when it's enough? And yeah.
Wow. I mean, just to touch on, I mean, you mentioned your ex-wife. I think many people didn't know that you were married before. They know you're married now,
Yeah.
So, I mean, could you share a little bit about that? I mean, what was your first wife? Was she supportive of the process? And obviously it didn't work out, but could you share a bit about how that was?
Yeah, sure. I have nothing but great respect for my ex-wife and every other people that I lost along the way, and she was very supportive. She took care of our kids, and the thing is that when someone asks you, like, hey, do you want to hang out with us today? We are going to the park. No, honey, I'm busy studying the charts. And say, okay, no worries. And she asked like 10, 20, 50, 100 more times, and I said, no, honey, I'm busy doing this and that. At some point, it's just like people stop asking you because they already know the answer.
Yeah.
And obviously I have my own responsibility to maybe. The problem with me as a person, I'm a very obsessed type of person. When I find something that I love, I just like disregard everything else, and I just do what is in my head. And it's like it's an obsession. And at some point, like, we had 3 kids, we lived together for 18 years, and obviously the reason why we went apart was not only because of my passion. It was like many other things that was going on. We just fell apart. She had her own life, and I had my own life. And at some point she just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I just want to move on with my life without you in it. And that was like devastating, because I was like thinking, hey, if I just did this, everything I'm doing for my family. Like, if I make a fortune, who do I make a fortune to? It's like, because I want to give it back to my wife and my family. And suddenly I just lost everything. My trading was going nowhere. My wife left me, and obviously the kids were like my more spending time with my ex-wife. So I didn't have the kids either. And just like, geez, from having everything to like end up in an apartment for my own with my dog, that was like the only thing left. Just like, and then I started, what, screw this, I don't trade. I just almost gave up my dream. I didn't watch a chart for like a year or something. I just like, what, I just lost everything. And I'm actually planning to do a standalone podcast about that episode of my life when I was the loneliest person on earth. Like, everything went south on me. And I'm just still gaining courage to do that session without like breaking down, like emotionally, because it's still like, I this is what I'm saying on my PMAs. You have no freaking idea how much I have sacrificed in my life to get where I am today. Because, and people don't know it. I never told this story to anyone. So obviously this will be the first time ever around the world people will know what actually happened. So yeah.
Wow. Well, Darko, thank you for sharing that. I know that wasn't easy, but I think it's so pivotal to your story.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, at one point did you feel, where was that point when things started to really make sense? Where did the trading really start to work for you? Like the results were starting to come in more consistently.
When I had that, when I took a break from trading, I came back. When I came back, I was a warrior. I was like a warrior mindset. I told myself, I'm at the bottom, like you couldn't go any lower. I was like, everything that could go wrong went wrong on me. So I had nothing to lose. There was no one behind me. I was just like the loneliest person on earth. And I just thought that, you know what? I will go back to trading. And this time, I mean freaking business. Okay. I went back to Coach's Corner. I sent an email to Vic. He say, hey, give me one freaking advice, because there's no way, I have nothing to go back to. Okay. I will make this change for my life, and I wouldn't go to sleep, eat, drink, nothing. I will like disregard everything else in my life until I make it. And that was like, December 2015. I think I sent that email, and he told me like, hey, just stick to one thing. You are like, you are just too much all over the place, and you need to more focus. So I just did that. And obviously for the 6 coming months, I was getting some results. And for first time ever, I just thought that, geez, like I screwed up so many things searching for that holy grail. I only needed to just focus on one thing and do it good. And May 2016, if I'm not mistaken, was my breakthrough month. I sent my track record, my trading account, login, not the logins, but like a screenshot of it, and I sent him my game plan and my trading plan. And obviously he got back to me, said, geez, like this is amazing, can I do an interview with you or something? And I said, yeah, sure. I didn't thought it was like anything special. So yeah, that was, to answer your question, is that was when I start thinking that, hey, I can make a change for myself. And I was seeing some real results for the first time in 8 years.
I mean, just for the listeners, because obviously you and I are familiar with Vic Noble. You're talking about Vic Noble from Forex Mentor. So obviously you were a student there before you became a major coach. So
sure, yeah,
you would say, that's where you started to get this understanding, and his encouragement really helped you along.
Yeah, sure. I was a Coach's Corner member first time. It was like, I think it was like 2011, fall 2011. That was my first joining, and then just I quit, and I rejoined. I quit. I rejoined. I quit. I rejoined. And when I was quitting, I was searching for the Holy Grail somewhere else, and obviously I didn't find it. And for some reason, I always went back to Vic, because, to be honest, like the first time or two when I was there, it was, I wouldn't say it's boring. It's just like, the way you are visualizing trading, like, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, hot chicks, private jets. And Vic was never talking about this stuff. I said like, geez, this is too boring. Show me the money. How can I get my Ferrari? How can I, go back to my job and tell my boss to,
screw off.
Yeah, screw off. I'm done with you. Just like, and I just, and something made me go back to Vic, because his honesty, and I say, you know what, Darko, at some freaking point in your life, you need to just, to shut the fuck up and, listen to what you're supposed to do. Like, grow up, man. You have been wasting so many years, so many sacrifices. How much more do you want to sacrifice? At some point, just keep quiet and listen and do what you're supposed to. No one cares about your ego, your emotions, what you lost, what you didn't lost. We all have our stories. Like, geez, whoever have an easy past? I'm not saying this to anyone to feel sorry for me or anything. I'm just like, yeah, that was the thing that just went back to Vic, and hey, tell me what to do, and I promised to shut up and do it.
And was there anybody else who was kind of like a major influence helping you on this journey? I know Vic is a great guy. We might try to get him on the show sometime if he ever hears this. But yeah,
Sure.
were there any other influences that you were kind of moved with in this journey?
Yeah, I have several people actually, and one of them is. Am I allowed to mention names?
Sure.
Yeah. I would
as long as they're public figures,
Yeah,
should be
sure.
fine.
Yeah, there was a guy. His name is David Pegler. David Pegler. He is like by far one of the top 3 kindest person, most decent, honest guy I ever met in financial market. He was the first guy was like teaching me like naked trading or price action trading, and it's like basically was the thing what Vic Noble calls market flow. The way Vic talked about, I'm not talking about the advanced market flow. I'm talking about the regular market flow, like higher high
Yes.
higher lows, lower high lower lows. And that was like David Pegler was like drilling that on daily basis, and he was using indicators as well, but there was like part of his education where he only showed like naked trading, where that means no indicators involved. And that was like the first time someone, and I had a big trust in that guy because we hooked up on Skype, we talked several times. He was a lead coach for that service like for 13 years ago or whatever that was. And he quit coaching for some reason, and I still have him as a friend on Facebook, but he's like such a genuine nice person. And that was like, hey, trading without indicators. And then when I was joining Coach's Corner, Vic was talking about the exact same thing, but he called it market flow. And I say, listen, that is the same thing that David talked for so many years, and I didn't obviously pay enough attention. And when Vic was saying the same thing independently, because Vic and David don't know each other, at least not what I know. And then I start thinking of trading in alignment with that like market flow, and that's where the Vic trades coincides with the way I want to be trading. And that was like a long story, make it short. That was where I started to do Vic trades for the entire 6 months or 1 year, just doing one thing. And that was a game changer. So David Pegler and obviously Vic Noble. And I always search on YouTube. I found Anton Creel by accident. By accident, I just searching for financial freedom, stuff like that, and I watch his series. That was some what was the
$1 Million
name?
Trader.
That's it, $1 Million Trader. And once I heard him speak, I was so fascinated about, hey, this guy is real deal. So I just searched for Anton Creel and those episodes when they make me trader, and they are like make me trader in Thailand, in South Africa, and in Latin America. And I watched those episodes on YouTube, and his fancy lifestyle, flying helicopters and doing some fancy stuff and having good drinks and eating fancy. It's just like, this is how I want to be living. It's like, how can I get there? This guy is living my dream life. And obviously I did some research about his fundamental trading. And this dude is smart, and I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'm always making a joke. It's not about negative self-talks or anything. I'm just realistic. I never was the smartest kid in school. I barely had a good grades. And fundamental trading and reading all those fundamental stuff books is just like out of my knowledge. It's like so boring. And so, you know what? I'm just stick to technical analysis, and I just do what I think is good and leave those school and educational fundamental readings to someone else, because I will never make it there.
Now, I guess I don't personally know too much about trading. I know Brook is more of the guy, but well, Brook, what is pattern trading? I guess it's best you explain it, and then we'll have Darko get into it.
So, I mean, there are different ways to approach, trading. As you already touched on, Darko, we got the fundamental analysis. There's technical analysis, and you were the first person that introduced me to the idea of pattern trading. So, where did that come from? What was your introduction to pattern trading, and how did you get to the patterns that you eventually were successful with?
Yeah. I didn't know anything about pattern as well, but what I was doing is I was sitting in front of my chart for like, I kid you not, like some days, like 20 hours. I was like totally obsessed with reading charts, and I just saw things like price action movements recurring every single, time, day, week, months. And I said, hey, I remember this from last week. And then, then the second week, hey, I see this again. And then I saw that, hey, what is the name of these patterns? And I obviously bought the course from Vic and I just found the course, like the course that I bought from Vic, it was like too subjective. When I do things, like if someone tells me like, my gut feel tells me this, or, you need to do this and that, I just get confused. Just tell me, because I'm more like a black or white type of person. I want everything to be rule based. So I took that course and I just went through the charts again. I say, hey, what if I do this and do that? And obviously these patterns have been trading for ages, like way before I become a trader. So those are not invented by me. I'm just trading those in a very specific way that I am doing for my own. So to answer your questions, I know patterns like divergence, head and shoulder, are those who I'm a big believer. I really believe in those patterns. They are recurring in the market. Price action movements that is recurring in the market very frequently enough to make profit in the long run. And it doesn't matter which pattern you trade. If you don't believe in it, if you don't have faith in it, if you don't understand it, like the logic behind it, then you probably never make it in trading. So I understand divergence. I understand the mass psychology thinking behind it. And I believe in it. I visualize it. I can see it in my dreams. I can see it in my head. I can it takes me literally a microsecond to see a valid setup. And by just sticking to that, I'm just disregarding everything else. Obviously, we're trading pattern number 4 as well. So it's just more, pattern number 4 might be a bit subjective. So therefore, I'm just leaving that behind. I'm just stick to head and shoulder and divergence for now, because no one else outside of Coach's Corner knows what pattern number 4 is. So, I just leave that away. So, yeah.
And as I say, you've narrowed it down to as objective as possible. Yes. Especially with your head and shoulders, where you introduce, the swing break.
Yeah.
So the traditional head and shoulders, for those who may not know, is basically it's 3 humps, where the middle hump is the biggest. Sure. But generally, like how I was taught it and how I lost money with it was, the traditional, there's like a solid neckline that, doesn't move. And I would see that set up many times, put money on and lose.
Sure.
But when I saw your definition of the head and shoulders with the swing break in it, where it's a lopsided neckline, where there's actually a break of a lower low on the price. I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah. And this is the thing with trading, the head and shoulder has been traded for ages, way before maybe I was even born. But no one that I know about, correct me if I'm wrong, no one in the market trades these patterns the exact same way that I do. And this is what I mean. The pattern itself is been there for ages, but by doing some, heavy backtesting, just lock myself in a dark room, you get bird, you don't leave the room for months, just do your hard work. You see, hey, journaling, every time I have a winning trade, I see this. Then I'm just disregarding everything else. Hey, I had another win. This time buy a lower low, lower close if price is hitting resistance. Those are much more like higher odds than the swing break. I say, hey, I have something else. I'm just by the thing that I'm teaching and sharing is basically 13 years of hard dedication and backtesting and live testing, forward testing. If you go back and listen to stuff like was taught before I was a lead coach, nothing is similar to what I'm doing in Coach's Corner right now. Everything is 100% new. It's like I put my touch on it and I do it the way I want to be doing it. If it's right or wrong, I couldn't care less. It works for me, and I'm challenging every people like in the room, like, hey, I have a 3 months challenge. You do this, and if you don't make money, send me an email. We hook up on Skype. Show me your live account, show me these patterns, and I will prove you wrong. Until today, almost like 2 years later, no one is accepting the challenge. Obviously, they are either making money or they are not following my rules.
Now, how were you first introduced to Forex Mentor?
Forex Mentor, I think I just was like throughout the Google. I was watching free stuff on YouTube, searching for like Forex trading, Forex education, Forex financial freedom. Somehow I clicked on some videos and I listened to Vic, and the way he presents stuff, because I like to keep things simple. My entire way of thinking, my life, like with trading outside of trading, is keep it simple, stupid. That's my like everything I do at my day job, when I'm like going out with my dog or whatever I do, it has to be simple. For some reason, when he was talking about trading, it was understandable for me. Okay. And obviously that was the beginning of it. And then I joined him, and what I was fascinating of was like the support and resistance, because Vic was the first person who told me to ignore the wicks and focus on the necklines. And every single people are obviously listening to the same stuff, but what I do with things is I listen to something and I just cut them down in meanings. I write it down. Hey, why is he saying this several times? It must be important. So I just take a note, watch the necklines, and then maybe he says something else like 2 months later. Hey, why did he say that? I write it down, and suddenly I have like a notebook with stuff, and then I go and do some backtesting and I add my own touch on it, and obviously that becomes what I'm doing today.
I mean, and you have a very interesting history with Forex Mentor. So you signed up as a student, and as you say, Vic was a very big influence. And I mean, I signed up many years ago as well. And I think I probably bought the same one, the course that you did, which was the reoccurring Forex. Yeah, with Shirley, I think. Yeah. Great lady, man. Great lady. But life happens, and I never got into the Coach's Corner though. But so you started out as a student.
Yeah.
And as you said, you shared your results with Vic, and he was very impressed, and he interviewed you. So your first speaking engagement at Forex Mentor was as a special presenter for the Coach's Corner.
Yeah.
Do you remember how did that feel? Walk us through that experience a little bit. The first time you got to speak.
Yeah, actually, it was a weekly trade example. That was because he sent me an email once I shared my story, like, hey, this is my live account. Have a look. I've been doing the same thing for 6 months now with the Vic trades, and I sent him result by results, showing everything live. And he said, hey, Darko, please, like, can you like think of doing a weekly trade example? And I remember that specific day, I was lying in the couch when I had my cell phone, and I said, hey, Vic Noble wants to interview me for a weekly trade example. And my current wife, he's just like, oh, I'm so happy for you. And I was shaking and I was like jumping upside down. And then I get, hey, what if I do it and I make a fool of myself? First, I was just like, woohoo, I was so happy, so thrilled. And then when that excitement, came down, is it, hey, what if you make a fool of yourself? Like, what if you don't know what to say, and if it doesn't come across properly, you don't have English as your first language? And my brain start playing games with me. And the thing with my brain is like, I, I- you know, when I'm afraid of something, I'm afraid of very like many things in life. When someone asks me about something big, I don't have the answer. I don't know how I will get there. I say yes first, and then I figure out how to do it later on, because I just don't freaking know, like, how do I do this? And he just, hey, Vic, I never done this before. I say, no, don't worry. I will just talk to you. I just give you the information, like, hey, this is how we do it, and just relax. And if something goes wrong, we just redo it. Okay. I said, oh, thank you. We did that. And then we went for another like 6 months. And you say, hey, do you want to be a guest presenter? Like, what do you mean? Another weekly trade example? No, 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 no. Like, take an entire CC session. I said, what? Me? No way. I said, yeah, yeah, do it, and I did a couple of these. And geez, I couldn't eat and drink for like 12 or maybe 24 hours before I was speaking. I was like shaking like a baby. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't drink. Just like I was exhausted even before I took the mic, because I was so nervous. I was like a little guy with a big dream, and I wanted so much I wanted so bad. And once I did the first guest presentation, and it took like another 3 months, I did another one. And at some point, Vic just, hook up in me on Skype, and, we had a chat, and I showed him my live account. I showed him how I think about trading, and like explain things outside of Coach's Corner, like just one-to-one. And he said, you should not be student, man. You are just, I want you as a lead coach. I don't want you as a student. I said, what? I said, okay, I can give it a try. I said, like, hey, what do I have to lose? At, worst case scenario, I make a fool of myself. I go back and trade my own account, and, no harm done. And obviously that was 1 year and 8 months ago, and the rest is history.
And that is a major shift to go from student to presenter to now you've transformed. Like, as you said, what you teach today in the Forex Mentor Coach's Corner is not the things that were being taught a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Oh. And it's completely different now. And that is because of your influence. How does that feel? I mean, you've transformed the school that helped you.
Yeah, it's just like, obviously the entire Forex Mentor team and Coach Vic Noble as well is like, obviously the coaching service is like growing so much. It has come to a point like, geez, it's just like growing too fast, just like we need to keep up with the members and answering everyone and everything. And it has ups and downs like everything else. And, I have to say, if it wasn't for Vic Noble, I would be nowhere. I would still be like that guy trading my live account, doing well. It's like, nothing super major. I still don't have any Ferraris at my front of my house or anything. Yeah, but, I just try to be honest and keep it simple. I would still be that no guy trading in a small village in Sweden somewhere. No one knows about me. So regardless of how things goes in the future, I will always forever be thankful to Vic, because without him believing in me when everyone else turned their back on me, he was the one that, hey, took me with open arms. And because he took a risk, did he know that it will become like this? No one knew. Like, if you told me one year and 8 months ago that I will be like, doubling the member side, like the member, the amount of members, and like growing the business, doubling it within 2 years, no one knew that. Okay. So he took a risk. he took a very big risk because he didn't know me well. I was a student of his, and he took a risk. And like I said, without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I will be. I'm not sure if he will listen to this. So if you do, Vic, I will be forever thankful, because without you, I wouldn't be here. Okay, and then yes, Coach's Corner and Forex Mentor has been doing, obviously, seeing results that never happened for the past 13 years. I don't want to put myself on any high horses. Because it's uh, Team Coach's Corner is not Darko Ali. I picked to be in front of the camera and in front of the mic. We have I have an entire team behind the scenes working for me or for us by doing those videos, and it's just like so much work. And so a big thank you for everyone behind the scenes of Forex Mentor and Coach's Corner. So yeah.
Now, we briefly touched on kind of what happened with being in a previous marriage and stuff, but beyond all that, with I'm guessing either your parents, maybe siblings, or even your kids, were they pretty supportive through this whole process that you were going through?
Hell no. Hell no.
Oh no.
Still today, first of all, I love my parents, my kids, everyone around me. The thing is that and I will spend an entire hour on my own podcast talking about this issue. My parents have no idea what I'm doing. Like for 2 weeks ago, I met up with my dad. We have a chat, and I told him, hey, I'm doing great, Dad. I'm doing the financial market. I'm doing some great trading. And he said, like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I buy and sell money. I'm risking money. I said, son, I have raised you well. You have kids, you have wife, you have obligations. Why the hell do you want to be a gambler? Like, I raised you well. Like, why do you want to be doing this? Go back to your day job, do some extra overtime, have a decent job, like leave this shit behind. This is just like, when do you grow up? It's just like, Dad, don't worry. I'm good at this. He said, nah, this is just, do a real job, have a real job, like something that people, you go and you educate yourself to a police officer. Just do your a regular job. Don't do this shit. You risk your money. You lost your entire saving 10 years ago, whatever that was. And just like, don't do it again. You have kids, you have wife, just grow up and be don't do this. So geez, like, these guys never understand. It doesn't matter how good I get, how well I do. They have no freaking idea what I'm doing, and they are not saying this to be mean or anything. They don't know what trading is. Like, honestly, do you think my father knows what Forex trading is? He think I'm a gambler. Like, he's just like, that poker player, playing his entire house and kids and wife's money and lose everything and end up on street. So they are saying this because they care about me. And this is what people needs to understand, that you have to be motivated enough to see a dream in your head that you see for yourself. It doesn't matter if your wife, your kids, your siblings, your parents see that for you. You have to see it for yourself. That's the most important part of it, because they are probably will be listening to this. I have a big respect for my parents and for everyone else around me, and they do things because they love me, and it's their way of preventing me to getting hurt, to hurt myself. So they are only doing this by love, nothing else, and I know that. So like I said, you have to believe in a dream for yourself, and you have to be obviously stupid enough to know when to not to give up, because normal logic people give up. Those who are like obsessed and they are stubborn and they are like orientated, goal orientated, they don't give up, and those 5% will probably at some point in life will make it. So
now, with all this, because you were talking about how, like, you buy and sell, you're basically trading money.
Yeah.
What is a typical day of like being a forex trader? What, like, just go walk through a day for us. Like, you wake up, what time you go to bed, what's going on in between those two times,
Sure.
or do you sleep?
I
Yeah.
wonder sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's actually we are getting tons of emails like, "Hey, did this guy ever sleep? Like, we are worried for him. He will be burned out." Just like, dude, I'm only warming up, so chill, So yeah. Here's the thing. My life is boring. I'm. Many people think that forex trader, elite coach, living a fancy life. Many people think I have my laptop on the beach, with a cold drink. I have an ocean in front of me, and I have some hot chicks in the background or stuff like. Just like I wake up 4 a.m. every freaking morning. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, if I'm sick, if I'm fed up, if I have personal problems, if I have private, like, whatever that is. When my clock alarm goes off, I go up. Okay. And for the past several years, there's no day in my life that I hit the snooze button. Okay. If you snooze, you lose. Okay. I wake up. Sometimes I even cry when I wake up because I'm so freaking tired. I could even pay a monthly salary to go back to bed and sleep for another 3 hours. Okay. I go up. I say hi to my dog because that's the only person that is like awake. It's just like if you could like read a dog's face expression and interpret what he's thinking. It's like when the alarm goes off, it's dark in Sweden and everything. It's like, dude, go back to sleep. What's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, go take your medication and go back to sleep. Like, geez, why are you going up that early every single freaking morning? And it's just like, come on, man. We go down and I give him a pat, and I take my Red Bulls just to wake up, open the charts and listen to them, to some motivational stuff to put me in the right mindset. Then by now it's like 4:30, and and then I just I shut down my phone. Obviously, no one is calling me. There's no normal person that is up 4:30 in the morning. So I just like shut down everything: Skype, phone, emails, everything, and I go into the zone. That's what I call into the zone. No one disturbs me. Like, I tell my dog, stay away from me now. Okay, that single for the next 120 minutes. That means 2 hours. Okay, for the next 2 hours, I will be doing a detailed pre-market analysis of more than 30 pairs. I write down stuff that will be on my agenda for that specific day. Once I'm done writing those stuff down, once I'm in that zone of focus without anyone disturbing me, then I record the pre-market analysis videos and I post that before London Open. Okay. And for those who have been with me since day one, I have never, ever been late delivering those PMAs one single day. They are always in time. Okay. And when I'm done that, then I probably have like tons of emails. I have like 3,000 questions in the Skype chat room that I need to answer. And I have private messages, and I need to update Twitter on regular basis with some motivational stuff, and walking my dog, eating breakfast, and then I come back and answering questions, and then I eat some lunch. After lunch, I will be going through my charts again for the New York session open, and if there's anything outside of my pre-market analysis videos, I send those notes to the Skype chat rooms for our premium clients. And that time is around New York Open. And then I take my dog for a walk again. And by that time, Vic is awake because he lives in Vancouver. And I'm always around. Like, it doesn't matter when you type your questions, within those 24 hours, you have an answer within minutes. And I go to bed around 11 p.m., sometimes even by midnight, because I have always like meetings with Vic in the background. We do some other stuff that we are planning to do. So it's always like I'm working somewhere between 16 to 18, sometimes even 20 hours per day. And I'm sleeping for 4 to 5 hours each day. That's what I do. I never ever sleep more than, like, if I'm lucky, I sleep 6 hours, but that like happen maybe twice a month. I sleep
Wow.
for 6 hours. Otherwise, it's like four to five max. And then I'm working the rest of the time. That's what I'm doing.
Because you have a day job as well, as you did say.
Yeah, but those are on the weekends. So I'm
On
not.
the weekends. Okay.
Yeah, so the weekdays, if there are no questions in the Skype chat logic, if I don't have any emails to answer or any meetings with Vic or the Forex Mentor back office or something, or sorry, the Forex Mentor, the co-founder of Forex Mentor, or anything else trading related, then I'm doing back testing. I am going through some losing trades if I have any, and if I have a winning trade, I go through those and I write the notes. Like, did I do? How did I start my day? And then before I go to sleep, like, did I screw up? Did any mistake that I need to talk about in my PMA for the next day? And if I find any deviation from my own rules, or that I didn't perform well, I grade myself every day. Like, hey, today you did a great job. And then maybe the next day, hey, dude, you need to get back on track because this is not good. And then I share that experience with my students. And if I did take a stupid trade, and I'm the first one to raise my hand and say, hey, I screw up. Let's learn from it. Okay. I never said I was perfect. It's always something trading, because I coach. When I'm done coaching, I coach myself. I try to develop myself. Like, how can I get better? So right now I'm working on a big project in the background. Hopefully this will become like 10 times better than everything else I have been doing. I don't want to say too much, so because it's like we are not finished. I'm not finished yet, but it's looking great, and hopefully we can do something big about it. So I'm always looking at charts, and if I need to leave my charts, I feel bad about myself. Like, hey, geez, I miss my charts. Like, I want to go back there. So if I watch a movie with my wife, like a Netflix or something, I may give the impression that I'm interested, but I'm watching my cell phone. I'm taking like photos of the trades and the charts, and I'm looking at those trades and charts, and hey, was the movie good? Yeah, the best movie I ever seen. I don't even know what the movie was all about, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm very obsessed.
Now, because we have a lot of viewers on the channel here that are watching that probably don't quite, they hear Forex. I mean, even me, when I told some friends, hey, I'm having this like Forex trader on, and they're like, Forex, what's that? And I told them, well, he trades currencies, and it sounds all, not necessarily like what you said with your father thinking it's gambling, but like, what are some successes that you've seen from a coach's perspective? Like, and just for the viewers too, how much money do people really make on a daily basis doing this? The successful ones that you've seen, that you've coached.
The money wise, I have actually no idea, because people don't show us their, some sends a screenshot of their live account. So, but we never know how much they make on daily basis, and that's like obviously very personal. It depends how much money you have, how many like lots you are trading, if you are trading a micro lot or standard lot, or maybe 10, 20 standard lots. So we have dozen, like a handful of traders that is doing very, very well, thanks to the way we are coaching today, or the way I'm coaching them. And as long as they are sticking to my rules, the way I teach them to do, and they are then doing pretty well. And the problem is with trading is that most people don't listen. Okay, I tell them exactly what steps to follow, what to do and what not to do. It's a big urge to divert from the rules, because our brain just functions the way that we always think that there must be something better. So if the results are not good enough for them, they have an urge to try something else. And when they try something else, they destroy their reticular activating system in their brain. That means they are like screwing everything up, and it takes like longer time to go back and do what you did before you diverge from your rule. And I would be more than happy to talk about this, like stuff like that some other day or on my own podcasting. So it's just like people are never satisfied. They don't pay attention. They don't listen. And if they listen, they break rules. And if they don't break rules, they do something other stupid things. So it's like a very few, like a percentage of people that is actually doing things the way I teach them. And those people are doing very good. To answer your question, money-wise, I have no idea. So I don't know how much money people make. Just to maintain my own lifestyle that I'm like living today, I need to make somewhere between, I would say somewhere between $8,000 to $12,000 to only maintain my own lifestyle. And this is actually first time ever I have said a certain amount of money. I need to make around $9,000 to $12,000 each month just to maintain my current lifestyle. Okay.
Wow, that's very candid there, Darko. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What I loved about you included in the Forex course is that you understand the mentality of a new trader, the steps that they go through, the frustrations that they go through. And I'll admit this. So I did come from, a fundamental school. And when I got into your course and I started going through it, I went through all of that, right? There was the time I was frustrated and I'm like, I'm going to send an email and say this shit doesn't work, and the whole thing. And I kept reminding myself, no, it's a new way of thinking. It's a new mindset. Just give your brain time to adjust. And it, as you say, it takes time, 6 months to a year, generally speaking. So we have some people who are interested in getting into the trading arena. What advice would you have for them about getting into this field? What are the realistic expectations they could look forward to?
Good question. First of all, if you want to do this, find someone who is a real trader. Okay, someone who actually do this in front of you live. Because if someone shows you stuff after the fact, everyone is king of high side trading. Like, how hard can it be to show you a chart and tell you, hey, you should be selling here, buying there? You have to find someone who trade with you live. Okay, like take live trades. And to understand, to get where that mentor is, you have to do some mistakes for your own, because it doesn't matter how much I tell you will screw up. You need to screw up for yourself to understand it. Okay. And do those mistakes, give yourself time, because like I always say, like if you want to become a doctor, you need to go to the university for 6 years. If you want to become a teacher, you go to the university like for 4 years. And, just like what makes you think that you can become a trader after like 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month or 3 months? It's just not going to happen. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how much you have been working on yourself. I don't care who's your trading mentor. I don't care how smart you are. There's no way you make it in 6 months. It's like, it's not going to happen. And if anyone else tells you that, they are bullshitting you. Okay. They are lying to your face. Okay. And I'm the first one to tell you that if you are serious about your trading, do some hard work. And, there are so many, like everyone I've been talking to, heard of, read about, everyone wants that fancy life, when you make a fortune. But, very few people are willing to work hard for it. I know that because I'm working with people every single day. They want the goodie stuff. And then they send me an email. Hey, I have kids. I want to go to the pub, drinking beer with my friends, and I want to exercise. be in a great shape. I want to spend time with my kids. I want to do this, go to vacations, and I do this. Yeah, they have like a list of things that they tell me they want to do, and then somewhere on that list, I want to become a trader. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, and then they get angry. Hey, you don't want me to spend time with my kids? Like, how a good father are you? Like, hey, you don't want me to exercise? Like, geez, do you pay attention to what I'm trying to say? You can do all of these things, but if you think that you can living a normal life and then become a professional Forex trader, competing with people like me and everyone else who are willing to take your money, go ahead and do it, dude. You will never make it. You are just wasting your freaking time. Get real. This is financial business is one of the toughest business you can involve yourself with. This is, you are playing with sharks, people who are literally legally robbing you with your money. They are taking your money away from you. Okay. This is a performance work. You need to perform. If you don't perform, no one likes you. As long as you are performing, everyone wants to become your best friend. Okay. As long as you are doing good, everyone likes you. Hey, this guy is, he's a legend. And then when we have a losing week, hey, Darko, you said this, you said that. Geez, you just have a losing day. It's not the end of the world. So this is hard work, guys. I'm not smart. Trust me, I am not smart. And I am definitely not talented. The only thing that diverges me from me and everyone else is I'm working 18 freaking hours every single day, 7 days a week. Like for the past, this year so far, I'm not kidding you. This year so far, I only had 4 days when I'm not trading and I'm not off my day job. 4 freaking days, and it's June, okay? Where I didn't work 4 days in 6 months, okay? This is hard work. If you don't, if you don't want to, do the hard work, go and do something else with your life because you'll never make it in trading.
And a huge part of that, especially what I like about, it was Dave Deming is the gentleman. Yeah. Sure. His motivational stuff, because a lot of it is your mind, right? You got to get the mindset right. Mm-hmm. And that's missing. Most schools that I've been involved in, they don't address that. But that dedication, understanding where you are with the skill, and be true to where you're at. If you're a novice, if you're a level 4 trader or whatever the case might be true to that and work the system. And I always appreciated your insight in that because it spoke to me through that entire process, which was really fantastic.
Yeah, many people are focusing on the pattern. Hey, Darko, which pattern are you trading? Dude, the pattern itself is useless. Do you know how to read market condition? Do you know how to read price? They are sending me screenshots of their charts. I don't even see the candles. How the heck can you be trading? Take those garbage off. Just trade naked charts. Okay. And the pattern itself is useless. Support and resistance itself is useless if you don't know how to draw them. The only thing that works, what is the difference between person A and person B? The only thing is here, I'm pointing at my brain, how you think. Do you honestly, if I ask a student, honestly, man, honestly, do you honestly think, can you see it in your head that you will make it one day? No, I don't believe in this. Why the heck do you want to be trading then? If you don't believe in it, spending your entire awakening hour to prove me wrong. Just go and do something else with your life. Don't waste it with me, okay? Because mindset, everything starts within your head, in your mind. Once you visualize it, when you believe in it, you feel it. Now, I visualize everything I have today. I visualized it 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We all seen the movie, the documentary, The Secret, right? How you visualize. That movie changed my life, okay? I start using my brain to get me where I want to be. I'm visualizing it in my head, and then I do it. I do it. Like, how many you have been my students for 8 months? Like, how many times have you been seeing me like, hey, watch out for this level, price will be doing this and that, and the next day I will take the mic, say, hey, go back and re-listen. Did you see what I said? Do you see how the price did? And the thing is that I'm visualizing in my head how price will be moving. And obviously, I'm not saying that I'm right all the time, but what I'm saying is trading is a mindset, has nothing to do with, hey, I have the holy grail pattern, or I will teach you how to draw this and that. That's all bullshit, okay? There's no pattern or anything trading related that makes you a trader. If you don't know how to do this properly, like how to read market condition, how to read support and resistance like a professional trader, and then once price in a certain level at your charts, you look for a price action movement that is occurring and recurring in the market. Once you see that, you take action. If not, stay away from the market. 95% of all people I work with or I talk to, they don't have the patience enough to stay to the game plan. That's the problem.
Wow.
Preach, brother, preach.
Now, where do you want to be in the next, let's say, if you have like a 5-year, a 10-year plan, where do you want to be, not just with the trading, but also with your work with Forex Mentor, and maybe even some plans with the family? Maybe have some more kids, or I don't, what's the plan?
Well, I know exactly what I want to be 3 years from now, because two years ago, maybe it was like, yeah, 2 years ago, I grabbed the mic and I told everyone in Coach's Corner that within 5 years, like 5 years from now, I will be the best pattern trader and the best trading coach in the financial market. So it's already gone 2 years. I have 3 years left. 3 years from now, I will be one of the biggest Forex trading coach, and people will line up to be coached by me. And I will be running one of the biggest coaching service in the entire financial history. And I will have no more kids. I have 3. I have 3 kids, which is healthy and everything. I love them to death.
Good
and
job.
those are my biggest motivation. I'm living my dream to teach them like, hey, you can go to school, man or girl. I have both daughters and son. Go to school, but don't ever fool your freaking mind that school will make your fortune. I have never ever read about anyone successful in this world that done it by going to school. Okay, go to school, learn. I want you to find your freaking passion, and I living it each day. I show them, because you can tell kids whatever you freaking want. If you tell them one thing but you are living something else, they will look at you and say, hey, you are living like a loser, but you are telling me to follow my dream. Okay, Dad, I might listen to you. They see me. They see my passion. They see what I'm accomplished. They see my house. They see what I'm driving. They see, how much things I'm giving them, and they see how I love what I'm doing. And the thing is that I don't care what you are doing as long as you are passionate about it. You could be like cleaning house. I couldn't care less. I'm not telling you to become like a scientific or a Forex trader or whatever that is. Just find something you like. Once you find what you love, then spend every single freaking minute to be the best version of that thing. In my case, is Forex coaching and Forex trading. So, mark my words, 3 years from now, I will be there.
Quick question, just to I'm throwing this one in. What do you drive, Darko?
I was going to ask the same thing.
I don't want to give the wrong impression about people or what we drive and what we live. I just
say if it's German, you don't have to give it away if you don't want.
It's a Volvo XC90. It cost me $100,000. And the thing was that when I went to where they sell cars, and I was not dressed up or anything, I was like just getting there. Before I bought that specific car, 2 years before, I went to where they sell cars. I was sitting in one of these cars and I was taking pictures inside that car, and that dude say, "Hey, dude, why are you taking picture with a car you're not buying?" I said, "I use this to visualize my brain, so one day from now, I will get a car like this." And he was like shaking his head like I was like mentally ill or something, and he just like, "Go away," say like, don't touch anything, we don't want you here, just go away. And it's no way, because he thought that I'm taking selfies with that car to put it on social media to pretend that this is my car. What that dude didn't know is I visualized myself in that freaking car for 2 years, then I went back and buy that bitch cash.
Come on. Fantastic.
Was it from the guy though? Was this from
No,
the same guy?
No, it was someone else.
That'd be awesome. The same guy be like, "Hey, so I'm here to pick this up."
Yeah, and it's the same car the royalty family in Swedish drives. Avicii, unfortunately, he's
Rest
dead now.
his soul. Yes.
Yeah, he had just Google Avicii with XC90, you will see the car. It's just like, when I'm sitting in that car, like, holy shit, is this my car for real? It's just like, it seems like, I'm a pilot. I have so much things to push buttons, and
it's like a cockpit for a jet.
Yeah. It's just like every time I feel miserable, you can say whatever you freaking want about money. I couldn't care less. Money won't buy you happiness. That's totally true. But what you know, guys, I feel much freaking better when I cry in my XC90 worth $100,000 than I cry in my Toyota worth $1,000. Okay, it just feels so much better.
Yeah, money may not buy you happiness, but poverty buys you nothing. That's what I say to people.
Money is nothing, but I like what money do for me. I like luxury stuff. Like I have big expenses and stuff like that, and I live a very big, nice house. Obviously, many people see those in the selfie video I'm doing once a while, and I'm trying to, this is the second time I'm telling people what I'm driving. I'm trying to tune it down because, it took me so many years to get there. I don't want to get anyone the impression that, hey, you can buy yourself an XC90 after 2 weeks of trading and buy it cash. You just not gonna happen, right?
And just on a sidebar, you eat very well as well, right? So we're just going to touch on this. Darko has a reputation for enjoying a good steak once in a while. Once a day, I think. Is that right?
Oh, man, for some reason, and I don't want to give you like long answers every freaking time, but there's so much in my head. I apologize if I'm taking your guys' time.
No, we've got plenty of time.
For like 30 years ago, I didn't afford eating food. I was a poor kid. We never came from like a wealthy family or anything. Money was always like, evil people have money, money don't, grow on trees. You have to be screwing someone to get money, you have to be a bad person. It's just like, those was the mentality I was taught as a kid. Like, we didn't have much money. And the thing with life is like, now when I have money, I can freaking eat whatever I want. I can go to a expensive restaurant and eat a steak every single freaking day. And now I bought it here. I buy meat and I do it for myself here at home because I don't want to be like among tons of people and stuff. So what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, I eat good every single day. And I have a expression in Coach's Corner. So when I'm talking about my charts, I'm always like referring to food, like, hey, this charts look tasty, this is like a big fat juicy steak, like, dude, you're looking at a boring chart. Like, what has this to do with any food or tasty or juicy? Like, and when people is like hanging around with me for a while, they know that I'm a crazy crazy guy talking about stuff in a certain way. So yeah.
That's great, man. That's great. Were there any books or anything like that? I mean, we are coming to the end. We've gone over. We thought we only had you for an hour, but looks like we'll finish up here. So
sure.
Outside of Coach's Corner, were there any books that really helped you for anybody who might be wanting to get into it? Like some mental books? Anything you might want to recommend?
I have been reading all trading books in financial market available. every single freaking book is totally useless.
Yeah.
Completely freaking useless. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. You will never ever learn trading by reading books. The only book that has been my Bible is Trading in the Zone with Mark Douglas.
Yes.
That's the only book I'm recommending. Those are about like trading mindset, like how you can develop yourself. Those are the only books that you can put your time and effort in it. Never ever buy any trading related book. Those are, go out and eat a big fat juicy steak for those money, because you won't get anything out of it. It's a complete useless. Like, if you are such a good trader, why in the hell do you want to write a book? Go out and trade, right? Go out and coach. So no, I don't have any trading books that I recommend. If you want to read anything, read Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. That's it.
Yeah, that book was a Bible to me as well. I got it off of your recommendation.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, since we're coming, we're gonna go just a little bit more here, but you did mention a few times you do have a podcast.
Yeah. Sure. The podcast that we are running in Coach's Corner is Forex Trading Coach Podcast. So just search for Forex Trading Coach Podcast, and you should be finding those in anywhere where you can listen to the podcast. And there I am talking about things like this, things that could not be in my PMAs, pre-market analysis, or taking time with the student. I'm just talking about around trading, like the mindset, like how I get there, and I'm sharing my story, the honest version of it. I'm not bullshitting anyone. I'm just like telling them the exact truth, like how I struggled. And we obviously just launched it, so we don't have that many episodes. And I will be doing those with Vic. And so yeah, I would be happy if people want to listen, and I would be honored to inspire or maybe helping anyone else in the market to reach their goals and their dreams. Yeah.
Now, how can people get in touch with you if they want more information regarding pretty much getting into trading? Should they just go to forexmentor.com, or is there a way to get a hold of you specifically?
Vic Noble is actually the one who answering emails behind behind my way. So if anyone wants any information about our coaching service, then they can send an email to Vic Noble at forexmentor.com, Vic Noble at forexmentor.com. If they want to get directly in touch with me, that's totally fine. I can always give them a short answer, or send that to Vic and ask him to help me out. And that is Darko at forexmentor.com. Darko is DARKO at forexmentor.com.
There's something about I gotta say something about your name, because Darko is actually your name.
Yes, that's my name.
There's something so, well, I'll just say really cool about it, being a trader, living this lifestyle, and called Darko. It's like, it's because no one has, like, I mean, they'll say Darko Ali formally, but people, oh yeah, it's just Darko. I don't know anyone else named Darko.
Yeah, and thank you. My name is originally from Yugoslavia, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere like at that part of the world. I'm actually born in Middle East, so I get that name for different reasons. So yeah, it's an unusual name, and this is actually my real name, because if you Google it, then you can actually see statesman that I'm doing as a police officer in Sweden as well. If you type Darko Ali and type police, the way we pronounce type it in Sweden. So yeah, that's my real name, and hopefully 3 years from now, everyone knows who Darko is.
Fantastic. What's the name of your dog?
Lillebror, and I would be happy to. I don't have him. He's sleeping somewhere here. Lillebror means little brother. And that guy means the entire world to me. That's my, like, he was always, and he's actually coming now. So
I don't know if you could maybe get him.
Let's see. Do you see it there?
Yeah, we could see it. I mean, the listeners wouldn't be able to see it, but Check
Okay.
it. Check the YouTube video, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been with you through the whole thing.
Yeah, and I will actually do a podcast when I will be talking about how much he meant to me, how like he was the only person wiping my tears from my chin when I was lonely and miserable. And have you guys seen the movie Hachiko with Richard Gere? It's actually a true story, a true story about a dog who loved his owner. His owner died unfortunately, and he was waiting in the train station for like 8 years or something until the dog passed away. And this dog did the exact same thing for me when I was leaving to work. I lost my family and everything. He was there. I left him like just when I have lock my door. He was staying like just behind the door for entire way. I was at my work. When I came home like 9 hours later, I was working night shift. He was there at the same spot waiting for me, and it just like breaks my heart thinking of that.
Wow.
Yeah, this dog has just mean everything to me because we can never trust human beings, but trust me, the more I spend time with my dog, the less time I want to spend with human beings because he don't care about money. He don't care about I'm making a fortune or what I'm driving. The only thing he cares about is taking for a walk, playing with him. And this is honesty, this type of honesty you will never see from persons. Sorry, I don't want to sound bitter or anything. I just don't have a good experience about
No, it's perfectly fine. Is there anything you wanted to add, Brook?
No, Darko, I mean, we did go over time. Originally, we thought we only had you for an hour. So let me personally thank you for taking the time. We filled the hour and a half, which is great. I think we're just a little bit under, but I think that's
we're
great.
fine. Yeah.
So thank you so much, for sharing your insight with us, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for everything. Thank you for asking me. So, my pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, now social media. You are on Twitter. What is the Twitter account for?
For Forex for Coach's Corner is actually at FX Coach's Corner. So at FX Coach's Corner, then you will go to
FX.
and it's the same for Facebook. So the Facebook is FX Coach's Corner as well for Facebook. And on YouTube, you have to search for Forex Mentor. And then when you search for Forex Mentor, you click on Coach's Corner. So if you just search for Coach's Corner on YouTube, you won't find us. So you have to search for Forex Mentor. Once you do that, you just click on Coach's Corner. And the podcast is the Forex Trading Coach, the Forex Trading Coach podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll be sure to put all the links below. So anybody wants to get in touch with Darko, feel free to reach him.
Once again, really, really appreciate you coming onto the show, Darko. It's really awesome to learn about everything, and your story is pretty cool. I gotta say, it's
the dedication, man.
Oh yeah, the dedication, and then now you're on here. You are on the other side of things. Things are only getting better, and steaks every day.
The good life.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
But everyone, we'll be adding everything, so we'll make a couple changes to what everything is everyone's seeing in the description below. But follow the Coach's Corner. Check them out. Check out forexmentor.com if you guys are interested. And of course, at the end here, follow Brook and myself on social media at Brook_Potter, and then myself at Amos Joe. Check us out on iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and subscribe to the channel as well. Now, are you looking into any YouTube stuff, Darko? I'm
not that big fan of YouTube anymore. I'm just not much known, not anymore. So, did you have anything in mind?
Oh no! Just wondering. Since we're on YouTube right now, I figured we'd see if you were ever looking into that. And it's well. Then again, there are things changing with it, but that's another topic. So, but yeah, thank everyone for joining us. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, like and comment, and then of course follow Darko and Brook and myself on to keep up with us too. So thank you everyone for watching today. And of course, we're having another guest next week, but we'll announce that later in the week. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you. Cheers.